Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a comparison video. So if you didn't know, Mattel now owns the license to the Disney Princess dolls again, and the Hasbro dolls are going to be phased out. So I wanted to get a Hasbro doll and a new Mattel doll and just look at the differences between the two. Now, both of these dolls cost around $10 retail. I got her on Amazon. This one I did get for $5 at Target because I price matched to Walmart. You'll have to ignore the sticker. I did want to point out that these are for a young demographic. 3+ is on the box of both of them. They're cheap, they're easy to produce, and they're easy to get into a kid's hands, especially at the low price point. And we'll get into more about it later, but I just want to throw that out there because I've seen so many adults complaining when they're just going to take the heads off anyway and put them on a different body. So it doesn't even matter. But here are the two boxes side by side. The Hasbro box is larger in width, but they're about... well, the Mattel one's like slightly taller, actually. But they're pretty much the same right now. My friend Serena did point out that there is a good chance that they're keeping it so similar for the first season just to have a smoother transition. And then in the second season, they might like do more different things, like more stronger differences. But here we have like the artwork of Ariel. The only way you'd be able to tell is by the Hasbro Mattel logos right here. This is the Royal Shimmer version. This one just says Ariel. It is the first one. Also up here on the Mattel box, it does say Disney 100. So maybe it's Disney's 100th year and I just didn't know about that. But anyways, looking around on the back of the box, it's pretty much the same deal again. We have a picture from the movie. It's actually like the same picture, except this one is only focused on Ariel and this one is not. It's even the same picture of Sebastian. But we do have the Mattel logo and the Hasbro logo on this one. And then lots to collect. We have little like reel strips of all the different princesses you can get. Oh, there is Raya on this one, but there is no Raya on this one. That's interesting. And then it says, both of the boxes say, free-spirited Ariel explores the world above the waves on her journey to fulfill her dreams. Disney Princess, Disney Princess. Yeah, so that's the boxes. So let's go ahead and get them out of the box. But before we do, if you enjoy doll content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow my socials for future updates. And now let's get them out. All right, everybody, we have both of our Ariels out of the box. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. They don't come with any accessories, so this part was easy. All right, so the first thing we're going to take a look at is these head sculpts. So the first thing I'm noticing is that the Hasbro doll does not match the body, like, at all, which is interesting. But the Mattel one actually does match it, so that's nice. The Hasbro doll does seem to be going for a more cartoony look. I don't think she particularly looks a lot like Ariel in this attempt, but you know, that's what they were going for. I'm not huge on this Hasbro sculpt. I don't think really anybody is. And we also have lighter makeup on her with the red or the pink lips, which isn't movie accurate either, but that's what they were going for. And then we move on to the Mattel sculpt, which I actually think is super gorgeous. I think it looks like Ariel in the movie, but in a more cartoony like way. Like more like obviously she's not as accurate as the Disney Store version, but I still think she looks like Ariel in a different take. And I like that. She has red brows to match her hair. They're placed a lot better. She has these really pretty lips. I love how full her lips are on this version. And red lipstick. It does look like they use the UV printing method though, so we have kind of a little bit of pixelation on this screening, unfortunately. The Hasbro one, it kind of looks like they use UV as well. Well, like the way the light's reflecting off of the eye shines is telling a story, but they could have used Tampo. It does look cleaner on the Hasbro doll though, so better face application. That's what we're gonna say. They're both wearing a purple tiara. The Mattel one has a lot of seashells on it, and the Hasbro one has more of a like squiggly line design with seashell in the middle. Those are pretty comparable. They feel the same. You wouldn't be able to tell any difference if you didn't know. And then the hair is, of course, you know, red and styled into a side part. So why wouldn't it be? Both of these dolls do have polypropylene hair, but the Hasbro one feels a lot drier than the Mattel one does. I think you can even really tell just like looking at it. And I think it's just the way that Mattel processes the hair. So I'm gonna give it to Mattel for the hair on this one, because even though they're both poly, at least hers feels nicer. But I mean, it's poly at the end of the day. So both of these dolls do feature sculpted tops, and let's get into that. So sculpted tops are not something that adult collectors like. Obviously, you know, we're adults, we like realism on things. However, these are meant for a young demographic, so you gotta keep in mind there is kids that cannot change clothes very well, who have a hard time with that motor skill. And so having something like this gives them a doll that they can play with and not have to worry about it. Also, half the time, these kids' dolls end up naked anyway, so at least these dolls are not going to be sitting around naked all the time, because I know some parents don't like to look at naked dolls. So, but I think since they did do the sculpted tops, I like that the amount of detail that is put into them. I like the translucent part of it. It's kind of cool looking. And there's like little, you can see all the details on the sculpt. The Mattel one is a more detailed sculpt as opposed to the Hasbro one. But this is a later run Hasbro. I don't remember the first time Hasbro did these sculpted tops, but it could have been better than this. As far as articulation goes, they both can only move up and down, I believe. Yeah, they can't go out to the side. And I think the like Mattel one is just better proportioned, but I do like the pose on the hands of the Hasbro one better. And here are the skirts on both of these dolls. The Mattel one has a print on it, so I appreciate that, whereas the Hasbro one is just solid with some glitter sprinkled on, which I'm not a huge fan of. The Mattel one does feel much nicer. I like the fabric they used for this. The Hasbro one feels very papery, but the Mattel one feels like an actual fabric, so that's a nice thing to know. Also, the color on the Mattel one is more accurate to the like seafoam green they use on Ariel for promotional stuff. And the sculpting does continue on to the doll's underwear, so these dolls are never going to be naked. So like I said, if you're a parent that does not enjoy seeing naked dolls all the time, you are covered in that department. There is also sculpting on the back of the tops as well. The Mattel one, once again, is more detailed. Also, we can see that the Mattel doll is much thicker and more realistically proportioned than the Hasbro doll. I'm not somebody who really cares about something like that. Like, it's a made-up character, so if she looks fake, that's fine with me. Alright, so the Hasbro one does go out, pivots like this, and so does the Mattel one. We go up and we go out. Not as much, though. The Mattel one feels a lot stiffer, and it feels like a sturdier plastic than the Hasbro doll does. And moving on to the shoes, they both feature a pair of translucent heels. The Mattel doll has a purple heel, whereas the Hasbro doll has a blue heel. They're pretty similar in design aesthetics, you know, like seashell themed. But, I mean, they're just cute little heels. I don't mind them. I think these are much nicer than what the Disney store puts on their dolls, for sure. So I was curious to see if these shoes fit on the Illy dolls, and the Hasbro shoe fits pretty decently on them. The Hasbro doll does have a bigger foot than the Mattel doll. This is not focusing for some reason. But the Mattel doll shoe is not going on, unfortunately. But this could be a shoe option. Alright, everybody, so that is going to wrap up my little comparison of the Hasbro Disney dolls and the Mattel Disney dolls. Overall, I do think Mattel wins this. I think the doll has nicer fabrics, prettier face, better proportions, nicer hair, and just, yeah, everything's better. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm glad they have it back. I think Hasbro had a lot of potential to make really nice dolls, but they kind of threw it out the window when they came out with these really goofy looking head sculpts. And, you know, they talked a lot of smack too, let me tell you. But here we are. Mattel has the license again. And I know people are like, well, why? These are so cheap, blah, 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 blah. Why do they even bother? And once again, easy to get in stores, easy to buy. They're good for small children who enjoy Disney. They don't hurt anybody. If you want a nicer doll, you can pay $10 more and get a classic doll from the Disney store, which is easily accessible for an adult on Amazon, or an adult that can drive to a Disney store, which I know don't really exist anymore, but like, you have options is what I'm trying to say. And the amount of negativity that these dolls get is insane to me, because they're not for us, clearly. We can enjoy them all the same, don't get me wrong. Like, I can take this doll's head off and put it on a different body and have a great time with her, because I do think she's really pretty. So, but I just have to put in the work. I mean, it is what it is. It's a $10 doll. I don't expect anything above this for a $10 doll. But yeah, that's how I feel. Let me know how you guys feel down below in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe and follow my socials. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Look at her. She's so pretty.